Hey gorgeous, welcome back to the channel. It's so good to have you here, whether you're sipping your coffee in bed, on a walk with your headphones in, or just taking a quiet moment for yourself. I want you to feel like you're in the exact right place, because today's topic is one you've probably thought about more than once. Have you ever been around a guy and felt that spark, that pull, that unspoken something in the air that made you wonder, is he attracted to me? Like, really attracted? You start to overthink. You replay his glances in your head. You try to decode the way he laughed at your joke or the way his hand brushed yours. And suddenly you're spiraling through a mental maze of maybes. But here's the truth. Sexual attraction isn't invisible. It speaks loud and clear, not always in words, but in energy, body language, micro expressions and subtle behaviors that are screaming his desire, even if he's too shy or unsure to say it out loud. And that's what we're diving into today, because when you can spot the signs, not just guess or hope, you take back your power. You stop chasing, you stop second guessing yourself, and you start choosing the kind of connection you want rather than waiting to be chosen. We're going to talk about 5 undeniable signs that a man is sexually attracted to you, the kind of signs most women miss because they're too busy wondering if it's real. But once you know what to look for, everything changes. This is about more than just attraction. This is about understanding desire, reading between the lines, and stepping into your most magnetic, confident self. So get ready, because once you hear these 5 signs, you'll never be left guessing again. Let's get into it. When it comes to attraction, especially the kind that runs deep and raw and electric, the eyes are always the first place the truth shows up. A man can try to play it cool. He can hold back his words, act unfazed, pretend like he's not feeling the heat, but his eyes will always give him away. When a man is sexually attracted to you, he can't help but look at you differently. And I'm not talking about the polite glance or a casual scan of the room where your gaze just happens to cross. I mean that lingering, drawn-out moment where you feel him looking at you and not just seeing you, but feeling you through his eyes. He might catch you for just a second. Maybe he's talking to you and his eyes fall to your lips as you speak. Maybe you're laughing at something and you notice him watching you completely still, like he's memorizing every tiny expression on your face. Or maybe he does that thing where he looks at you a beat too long, realizes it, and quickly looks away like he's been caught. That right there, that's one of the clearest signs he's not just interested in what you're saying, he's drawn to you, physically, viscerally. And here's the beautiful thing about eye contact. It's one of the most ancient forms of human communication. It bypasses language and cuts straight to emotion, to longing, to energy. When a man is sexually attracted to a woman, his gaze naturally lingers on areas that captivate him, sometimes consciously, sometimes without him even realizing it. He might glance at your lips, your neck, the curve of your shoulder. And it's not always overt or aggressive. In fact, it's often the opposite. It's subtle. It's respectful. It's like he's trying not to get caught, but he wants to look anyway. And you'll feel it. Because we're all intuitive beings. You'll feel that heat, that tension, that pause in the air. You might suddenly become aware of how close you are standing, or how the silence between you suddenly feels loud and full of possibility. And the truth is, most women sense this energy and then start doubting it. They think, oh, he's probably just being nice, or maybe I'm reading too much into it. But you're not. Attraction is real. And the eyes, his eyes, are often the first place you'll see it surface before anything else. There's also something incredibly telling about what happens when you catch him looking. A man who is attracted to you sexually might hold your gaze for just a second longer than usual. And in that split second, so much gets exchanged. You see curiosity, desire, admiration, and sometimes even hesitation. And then there's the nervousness. He might blink more, fidget slightly, look away and smile like he's been caught in the middle of a beautiful daydream. That moment, That moment says more than 100 words ever could. Because attraction is not always loud. Sometimes it's in that tiny flicker of vulnerability he shows when you realize you've disarmed him without even trying. You see, when a man is sexually attracted to you, his eyes linger not because he's objectifying you, but because he's captivated. He's pulled into your orbit not just because of how you look, but because of how you feel to him. Something about your energy, your presence, your essence is making his focus lock in. He wants to absorb it, understand it, and experience it. And while he might try to maintain composure, his eyes will always whisper what his mouth won't say just yet. So, next time you catch him looking at you that way, with that intense, lingering, almost reverent gaze, don't brush it off. Don't downplay it. Trust your gut. That look is a window into the chemistry he's trying to keep under control. And chances are he's wondering if you feel it too. When a man is sexually attracted to you, you'll notice something fascinating. He gravitates toward your space. It's like his body wants to close the distance, even if his mind is trying to play it cool. This isn't just about being friendly or sociable. It's a subtle, primal pull that makes him want to be near you, often for no logical reason at all. If you pay attention, you'll see it in the way he positions himself, in how he moves, how he chooses spot in the room, or even how he adjusts his body language. It's in the little things, and those little things say everything. Let's say you're sitting on a couch with other people around. He has the whole room to pick from, yet somehow he ends up right next to you. Not just on the same couch, close. Maybe he doesn't even touch you, but he sits in a way that your legs almost brush. Or his knee turns ever so slightly toward yours. These micro movements are not accidental. They're instinctual. They're his subconscious trying to merge space with yours. Because the closer he is to you, the more he feels the tension, the connection, and the energy between you both. And that's the real key here, energy. Sexual attraction creates an invisible current. You can feel it, and so can he. He wants to soak it up. So when he leans in just a bit more when you're talking, or finds reasons to stand shoulder to shoulder with you when you're walking or waiting somewhere, he's doing more than being polite. He's feeding that magnetic pull. Even in group settings, when others are around, you'll notice that he naturally orbits closer to where you are. He might not even realize he's doing it, but his desire is drawing him to you like gravity. Watch what happens when you shift slightly. You lean in to reach for something and suddenly he leans too. Or maybe you move your chair a bit closer during a conversation and without missing a beat, he adjusts his seat to stay close. These tiny moments are his way of saying, I want to be next to you. I'm not done feeling this. And even though it might look subtle on the outside, inside he's on high alert, feeling every inch of space between you shrink and loving every second of it. Touch, too, becomes more frequent, but not in an obvious, aggressive way. It starts small. Maybe he touches the small of your back as he lets you walk ahead. Maybe his hand brushes yours and he doesn't pull away quickly. Or maybe he finds a reason to help you with something. Fix your bracelet, pick lint off your jacket, pretend he's showing you something on your phone just so his hand grazes yours. These touches are soft, unspoken invitations. They're little flirtations layered with curiosity and craving. And if you respond warmly, you'll likely see him test those waters again. And here's something important. This kind of closeness doesn't always scream lust. Often it feels incredibly tender. A man who is sexually attracted to you, but also respects you, will try to keep his desire in check. But his proximity, that's the one thing he struggles to control. His body wants to be close. He doesn't even need to say it. You'll feel it. So if you notice that he keeps finding reasons to enter your personal space, not in a pushy or creepy way, but in a subtle, consistent, unmistakable way, don't ignore that. His body language is doing the talking, and the message is clear. He wants you close because he wants you, period. One of the most surprisingly seductive indicators that a man is sexually attracted to you lies not in what he says, but in how he says it. His tone, his tempo, and even the pitch of his voice begin to shift when he's around you. And the moment you hear it, something in your body reacts. You may not even consciously register it at first, but you feel it. That deeper, slower, smoother voice, it doesn't just hit your ears, it hits your nervous system. When a man is genuinely attracted to a woman, especially sexually, his voice often drops in tone without him even realizing it. It's not something he's trying to do to sound suave or romantic, it's instinctual. Biologically, a deeper voice has long been associated with masculinity and attraction. It signals calm confidence, dominance, and an unspoken sensuality. But what makes it even more telling is the change. That shift from his normal voice to one that's noticeably more intimate when he's speaking directly to you. That's the giveaway. You might hear him laugh louder or more animatedly with others, but when he turns to talk to you, it's like everything slows down. His voice softens as if the moment suddenly became just between you and him, even if you're standing in a crowded room. It's not just volume, it's intimacy. You'll feel it in the way he lowers his voice when he says your name, the way he draws out words a little longer than usual, the way he gives space between sentences, like he's inviting you to lean in and join him in that slower rhythm. What's fascinating is that it's not only the sound of his voice, it's the entire delivery. He becomes more deliberate, more thoughtful, less rushed. He might pause more. He might add just the slightest teasing tone to what he says. These subtle vocal cues create a feeling of emotional foreplay. It's his way of inviting connection without needing to be overt. And chances are it works. Why? Because we naturally respond to vocal energy. A deeper, slower voice creates safety and excitement at the same time. It tells your body you can relax and you can be turned on at the same time. Now you might be wondering, could he just be speaking like that because he's shy or quiet? Possibly. But here's how you tell the difference. Watch how he talks to other people in the same setting. Does his energy change only when he speaks to you? Does his tone soften only when you're the one in front of him? If the answer is yes, that's your signal. Because the contrast is what reveals the truth. It's not always that slow and smooth. He's that way with you. Also, listen for the playfulness in his voice. When a man is attracted to you, there's often a flirty lilt underneath his words. He might exaggerate certain things just to make you laugh. He might drop the occasional cheeky comment to see how you respond. But no matter what he says, his delivery will have one thing in common. It will feel tailored just for you. Like a secret little conversation layered beneath the actual one. And you'll feel it not just in your ears, but in your body. Because when a man slows down his speech around you, lowers his voice and starts speaking with that relaxed, almost velvety cadence, what he's doing is creating an unspoken intimacy. It's his subconscious way of saying, I see you and I'm drawn to you. So next time you're talking to him, tune in, not just to the words, but to the music underneath them. If you feel your heart rate slow down, your breath deepen, or that tingly awareness in your body turn on, there's a reason. His voice isn't just communicating information, it's radiating attraction. Let's talk about compliments. Now, most men know how to give a compliment. They might say, you look nice, or great dress, or I like your smile. Harmless, right? But when a man is sexually attracted to you, those compliments start to come with a certain energy. It's not just about the words he's saying, it's about what's laid underneath them. You feel the heat, you feel the pause, you feel the way the air seems to thicken between you. That's a loaded compliment. No. Okay, so what exactly is a loaded compliment? It's when he says something innocent on the surface, but it lands with tension. Like it could easily go somewhere deeper if either of you dared to take that next step. For example, instead of you look beautiful, he might say something like, there's just something about the way you look tonight, and then he trails off. Or that color is doing dangerous things on you. He's not just telling you that you're attractive, he's letting you know that you're affecting him, that your presence, your body, your aura It's getting under his skin in the best possible way. That's what makes it different. A loaded compliment is less about praise and more about invitation. It flirts, it teases, it suggests, and it almost always makes you wonder, what is he really thinking right now? And guess what? That's exactly what he wants. He wants you to feel that moment, that delicious ambiguity, that flicker of electricity between you. And it doesn't always have to be verbal. Sometimes it's the way he looks at you while saying it, the glance down your body before meeting your eyes, the half smile that tells you there's more he's thinking, but he's leaving it unsaid for now. And the best part, it's not crude, it's not aggressive, it's that perfect balance of charm and hunger, respect and desire. And that's what makes it powerful. He might say, "You drive me crazy sometimes," and laugh it off. But you'll feel the truth underneath it. Or he'll casually tell you, "You have no idea how distracting you are." And suddenly the room feels 10 degrees warmer. These compliments are his way of testing the chemistry, of expressing desire without overstepping. Because let's be real, a guy who's into you sexually but also respects you won't come out and say everything he's thinking. Instead, he'll give you just enough to let your mind play. He'll spark your imagination. And that's where real attraction lives. You'll also notice how focused his compliments become. Instead of general flattery, he'll zoom in on things no one else seems to notice. The curve of your neck, the way you laugh when you're genuinely caught off guard, the sound of your voice when you're being playful. These are not compliments from someone trying to win you over. These are observations from someone who's watching you closely, someone who's captivated by you, and likely imagining more than just a second date. So if you find yourself replaying something he said in your head later, if a compliment he gave you keeps echoing in your mind long after the conversation is over, that's a clue. It wasn't just a compliment, it was a loaded moment. And it means something. It means he's not just looking at you, he's feeling something real, something physical, something magnetic. The next time he compliments you and you feel that tug in your stomach, that buzz under your skin, don't dismiss it. Because when attraction is real, compliments aren't just words. They're heat wrapped in politeness. And he's hoping you feel it too. Let's be real, the eyes tell the truth, especially when desire enters the room. And one of the most magnetic, unmistakable signs that a man is sexually attracted to you is when his gaze keeps drifting, not to your outfit, not to your eyes, but to your lips. He might not even realize he's doing it, but if you watch closely, it becomes obvious. His eyes keep dropping to your mouth like it's the most captivating thing in the world. And in that moment, it is to him. This isn't about being creepy or staring too long. It's much subtler than that. It's a series of quick, involuntary glances, the kind that tell you his mind is wandering to thoughts he probably wouldn't say out loud. It happens most when you're talking, especially when you're saying something playful or vulnerable. You'll be listening, and then suddenly his eyes will flick to your mouth for just a beat too long. That tiny pause, that's desire peeking through his otherwise composed exterior. Why does this happen? Because the lips are sensual. They're expressive, soft, and full of possibility. They're the bridge between words and touch. When a man is sexually drawn to a woman, his brain starts imagining things, kissing, connecting, feeling. Your lips become the focal point of all those thoughts. So even if he's trying to stay cool, part of him is already envisioning what it might feel like to lean in, close that space, and taste that moment. You'll especially notice this during a shared laugh or a moment of eye contact that lingers just a little too long. That's when his gaze betrays him. He'll be smiling at you, eyes locked, and then they flick downward. Just for a second, but that second is enough to say everything. It's not just a look, it's a craving. And the best part, he often doesn't even realize he's doing it. That's how you know it's real. Sometimes he'll do more than just look. He might mimic your movements, lick or bite his own lips when you do. It's a psychological phenomenon called mirroring, and it's driven by attraction. When someone subconsciously mirrors your body language, it means they're deeply connected and tuned in to your energy. So if you notice he keeps adjusting his mouth when you're talking, licking his lips, biting the corner, touching them, that's not random. That's tension, that's heat, that's his mind working overtime to keep his body in check. And you might even catch him staring when you're not speaking. Those quiet moments when you're both just present with each other. That's when the desire really surfaces. Because in silence, there's no distraction. He's not thinking about what to say next. He's just looking and wanting